I'm just checking. Megan, you can hear me? Yes? If so, just type something in Slack so I can see it. That way I know everything, because I rushed and tried to get everything done. Megan, are you there? Not today. 1 2 1 2. Okay, it looks like it on my end. Hello? Yeah. Megan, are you there? What the? I was just logged into the studio. The call-in studio stopped working or something on my iPad. 1 second. How can I have a show recording? I need to know. Man. Okay. It doesn't show that it hung up, but I can't see where to get on to where I normally go and get the calls. Because something happened on my iPad. I don't know what. Let me see. Nope, that wasn't it. That's not it. Voicemail recordings. Read more examples. Oh my God. How come they don't have a link to like the active show? Create a new show? No, that's not it. I'm already hosting the show. Oh, there it is. Got it. All right. Now, I figured out how to do that. Megan, if you can type something in the chat, that'll let me know that. Oh my God, I forgot. Everyone can hear me right now. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go ahead and get this started.
Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home filled.
Jay gives back so much value that I've never seen.
Now, at this moment, when I'm looking at the kitchen, things are going through my head.
You want to be friends with him, and he treats you like you're the only person in the room, even though it's for the benefit of everybody.
This is how, when you ask yourself, how does Jay do it? This is how.
He tells people that they have to take action, and they have to take action now. I took the action, and the results have paid off.
What happens when the marketplace understands who we are and how we go out there?
Hey guys, hopefully you're having a great day. And for those of you who were here early, you heard the fact that I was rushing to get everything turned on. And yeah, the audio checks and everything were included in today's beginning. So it is what it is. Nonetheless, for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Jay, and I'm CEO of Cashflow Diary. And what we do is we help you become bigger, better, badder entrepreneurs, because that's kind of the goal. That's what we're after. That's what we want to make happen for each and every person who would be so courageous as to take on their life and try to make something more happen for themselves and their family. So hopefully you weren't too disturbed by what happened at the beginning, but nonetheless, things happen because when things get can get a little out of whack, or sometimes you're just rushing, trying to get stuff done in order to make it work right. So if this is your first time here, this is how we work. For the majority of you, you can either type your question. However, we prefer that you actually go over to the call-in line, and that number should be on your screen at this particular moment. That number is 417-352-2274. And for those of you who were here early, you heard me talking to Megan. Megan is the person you need to be nice to, because she's going to make sure and ask you a couple of questions, put some notes in so that you and I can chat in real time. Again, 417-352-2274. 417-352-2274. So with that said, and while we wait for some people to dial in, I also want to remind everyone in the Facebook group, if you are currently a student, I've got you guys right here, so I'll be able to see what's going on. We did not figure out Instagram, so hopefully no one, I can't apologize to the people on Instagram because they can't see me today. But if you know someone who was hoping that we would be there today, you can let them know that we did not make that happen. However, we are on our places on the Facebook page, Facebook groups, Periscope, Twitter, and I believe YouTube as well. Type it in the chat or give us a call, 417-352-2274. Today, the topic is kind of like it always is. Let me know if you're having some issues with your short-term rentals or real estate or business or something like that, because that's where my experience lies and that's what we can help you with. Also, many of you probably saw inside the title, I said that today is my wife's birthday. And how does that help you? We're definitely going to talk about how that helps you and some unique ideas that you may want to consider regarding your significant other, or maybe you don't have one of those yet. Either way, just something to consider as it goes through the process. So again, 417-352-2274. I'm gonna start looking for questions. I see a ton of birthday well wishes, so hopefully Poppy sees that today. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure, like most wives, she doesn't listen. Because I can hear you all the time. Why would I tune in? Anyway, it is what it is. Nonetheless, I am glad that you guys are here today. Let me start checking the Facebook group and see what we got, if anything. Oh, there we go. Give us a call. Yep. What's up? I see that. Interesting. I never know which sometimes the questions appear there and sometimes they don't. It's so unpredictable. Either way, it's just unpredictable. Oh, hold on. Gotta mute my phone so that I don't hear that. All right. Give us a call. No worries. I should speak in a creepy voice. No, Megan, don't. Well, Megan does like Halloween, so I bet you there's a number of you who actually enjoy Halloween. I'm not that much of an Halloween person. Obviously, having children, you go, but it's not like, ooh, Halloween. I don't necessarily get excited for that one. My son, on the other hand, oh my God, it is always like from the time he could walk, Halloween was like his thing. He still loves it, and very much so. So he is definitely looking forward to it. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year. because we're in a new neighborhood. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens as well. So anyway, so it looks like hold on. Let's see. It looks like we do have one person calling in. Megan will talk to you, but I want to get Natalie's question while I can. Let's see what we got. So Natalie is asking, or rather saying, there it is. She's like, I'm in the middle of adding photos to my listing, hoping to get a listing review from you today. I got some photo violations though. Okay, so Natalie, just go ahead and wherever you typed what you just typed there, well, hopefully that's in the Facebook group, because if it's in the Facebook group, it'll be easy for me to see. And then I can pull that up on my screen and make that happen. So, Derek, I'm laughing at your comment. Yes, you could hear me. Thank God you were not cursing. Yeah, that you wouldn't have found that anyway. And it's funny, those hot mic situations, they can all become, they just are opportunities, aren't they? They are just opportunities. Anyway, put the Natalie, if you put the link there, and I'll be able to make that happen. Got it. So we have another question from Mariella, I believe, and then we will get to the caller, I believe. Yep. Let's see. It says, Mariella, hey Jay, what is the best way to see if the HOA is okay to turn my home into a short-term rental? Mariella, this is a great question. And the best ways per se is to, well, read the CC&Rs. That's really what you're looking for. Every HOA produces a document that says, hey, here's what we like and here's what we don't like, etc. And you should have access to that somewhere. You might not have read it in a while, because they normally shovel it over to you when you're doing escrow and closing, and it's in a big stack of paper somewhere. But you go through that and it'll typically let you know about whatever they like or don't like. Oftentimes they won't specifically state, depending on how old the HOA is, they probably won't specifically state the word short-term rentals, but they might use words like transient occupancy or renters staying or guests staying for some sort of compensation less than 28 or less than 30 days. They might use language of that kind. So I don't know that you'll actually find the word short-term rental, but you should be able to find something. It'll probably mention something of that kind. So if you see something of that kind, that's what they're referring to. And in some cases, some HOAs are even restrictive on the number of total long-term rentals that you're able to have in the entire thing anyway. So hopefully that helps and makes some sense. All right, so let's get over here and get on the phone. I believe we have a call. Oh, Lorena. Let's see what's going on with Lorena. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm good so far, and yourself?
Yes, I'm doing good. It's sunny California here. No complaints.
Well, you could complain, but you shouldn't. I mean, there are probably some people at this time of year who are actually watching and or listening right now who have snow on the ground.
Yes, we are very fortunate. We don't have any snow.
Nope, no snow. No snow. So what's going on?
Yes.
How can I help?
Yes, I still have I'm very confused still with Logify and PriceLab. And I'm currently connecting my Airbnb and Booking.com and HomeAway. And HomeAway, of course, I use their own price.
Okay.
So I'm connecting PriceLab for Booking.com and Airbnb. In the beginning, I didn't have the Booking.com, so I used the Airbnb Basic. Right now I have Booking.com, and so I use Lodify to sync the price. And so it's kind of a mess right now. I don't really know what to do because I hook up with a calendar, and I use the Airbnb Basic. But when I hook up the price with the price lab that goes through Lodify, it doesn't look like it's working. So we've been hooking up for 2 weeks already. It doesn't look like price have been synced through Lodify. So I try to figure out, and I've been talking to technical support. Mm-hmm. They told me that I need to change it to the Airbnb Professional instead. Say Basic doesn't work, but from my understanding that I thought we just use the Basic. Is that correct, or is that anything else I need to do in order to get the price syncing right?
Got it. So if I understand you correctly, what you're saying, if I heard it correctly, in essence, the prices that you were wanting to sync over to Booking.com are not syncing. That's what I heard. Is that accurate? Is that what you were communicating?
Right now, look like the price, it doesn't sync with Airbnb, and Booking.com looks like it's okay. I haven't really go over there to actually calculate it because we don't have any. We don't. I still don't know the Booking.com. I haven't had any booking yet. I try to figure out am I set up right, or there's any way to trigger more booking. So that's another question that I have as well. But just for Airbnb alone, right now the pricing is really the issue. So I kind of have my hands full right now. So I was like, okay, Booking.com, I set it up, but doesn't really have any much booking. So I try to figure out that I see on the Facebook the people's mention in order for Booking.com to start to have for the booking, you have to set up right. So I just try to figure out, we work with agent and all of that, I think everything, every tiny detail, things like that. But right now, Airbnb doesn't look like the price is there because I was changing from Price Lab, and doesn't look like it goes through. Doesn't look like it really reflects the price on Airbnb.
Okay, so I'm gonna restate that, and all I need to know is yes or no. If I hear you correctly, what you're saying is that you currently have Price Labs connected to Lodify. Yes. And then you have Lodify connected to Booking.com and Airbnb. And as far as you can tell, the prices on Booking.com seem to be fine, but the prices on Airbnb are not. Is that correct? Yes or no?
That's correct.
Got it.
And yes, that's
okay,
correct.
I got it.
And I use the Airbnb Basic.
Got it. And that is correct. Lodify for Airbnb is supposed to be basic, but what you want to do is you want to now take Price Labs and connect it directly to Airbnb. And then what you do inside of Price Labs is create what is known as a child listing. And that child listing is what you connect to Lodify.
What do you mean child listing? I don't get that.
Well, unless you want the pricing to be the same on Airbnb as Booking.com, then you don't have to. If you don't care about that, then you won't need a child listing. But if you want your pricing on Airbnb to be different than what your pricing is on Booking.com, you're going to need the child listing and connect that child listing to Lodify directly.
But right now, as I understand in the Booking.com, when we doing the Lodify with the Booking.com, they want us to fill out the mapping Excel sheet.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so that's what I did.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I just take care of that. So Booking.com will be taken care of. But what you say about Airbnb is, before I do Booking.com, I actually connect Airbnb with price lab directly. That's what I think my price. And thinking calendar, I use Logify, but price, I go direct to link Airbnb and price lab together.
Correct.
Is that how I supposed to do that right now?
Correct.
So I don't have to bother to load the channel from Logify to price lab. Is that correct?
No, you still need, because Logify to Price Labs is what's keeping your booking.com straight.
Right. But so, okay. So let's say from the booking.com, no, I'm sorry, from the Logify, I need to have two different, one listing, I need to have two different channels, one from Logify, one from Airbnb. Is that correct?
No, that's why I told you to create the child listing in Price Labs.
But how do I create child listing?
Got it. They have a help file for that one. So if you go over to Price Labs, they'll be able either call their tech support, as you've already done, or just go to their help file. They should be able to assist you with that. Does that make sense? Because they've been they're good about how to manipulate their software.
So I go to help. I go to their help page and just type.
Yeah, or their
child listing.
Correct. Or you can call them like you did before, and they'll be able to help you create a child listing as well.
So I will have to stay with Airbnb Basic, not Professional. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you so much for
No
your
problem.
support.
Excellent. So we will now get over to Natalie. Looks like Natalie is in Virginia. And Natalie, how are you doing?
Hey Jay, how are you?
So far so good. What's going on?
I'm good. So I just got my photos today, so I tried to quickly upload them before the call today. So I wanted to just have you look over it, give me your feedback. So I know I have some photo violations.
Oh, this is the same one who Pierre. I didn't realize it was the same person.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I
Yes.
didn't realize. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't realize I was talking. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up on my screen since you are there. And
So I do have to add some more pictures on there. Like I have to add like the cups for the things I'm providing, like the pots and the utensils and stuff. I didn't get the photographers to do that today. But
what do you mean
those are
you didn't
I have
get
right
them
now.
to do it today? I don't understand.
I mean, yesterday. So yesterday when I had the photographer there, I had to leave. And so I didn't tell the designer to have him take pictures of like the coffee stuff and the pots and all those things that I'm providing as amenities in the pictures.
Got it. So all right. So you said designer. You had a designer? I'm looking at the photos now. Okay.
Oh, does it look like I didn't have a designer?
Let's just say it generated the question. I just call them the way that I see them. I'm not.
I know.
So I know. She's like, wait, but what do you mean? I did, yeah. And well, there's just there are some fundamental things that I'm looking at inside. So I just, like I said, I pulled it up right now, and I'm looking at this, and I'm going, that's not the impression I'm used to receiving when someone has had a designer. Also, the photographer, interesting. All right, so here's the challenge. And you presented a photography challenge. This is what's going on right now in general. If I'm looking at it, it says Biz Travelers Fast Wi-Fi 4K TV. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, got it. All right, so if this is the case, here's the first thing that from a photographic standpoint and the impression that I am getting. This is the challenge. is that duvet or that comforter or whatever that is that you have on top, that's got to go. Okay? Because, and let me tell you why, because of whatever material that's made of, the wrinkles are highly pronounceable, and that brown streak isn't helping to give the impression of clean. I'm not saying, I can tell that it's designed that way when I'm looking at it, but girlfriend, this is not the first impression you want. And here's the biggest issue, is that I'm not sure if that first photo I'm looking at was done on a cell phone or what, but I was expecting way more dynamic range, and the problem is that I'm iffy if it was taken on a tripod, because the room is off kilter the way that the photo is, and I can tell that when I'm looking at, and you'll probably have to go back and look at this on your screen, but because I'm drawing now, I can tell this because there's a difference in this wall. Whoops, right here. This wall right here is off axis. It's literally slanted at an angle, and yeah. So the plane of the camera of how it was taking the photo was not parallel to the wall. Something was just off. I don't know if the tripod was off. Something was not level, and it's throwing that off. But the biggest issue is that you have so much white in this photo that it has to be lit properly. And that back wall, that there's not enough light on that back wall to give the dynamic range and impression that I think you want. I'm fine with the white, and you want to do the white and gold thing, but if you're going to do the white and gold thing, we need a lot more light in order to make this work right from a photographic standpoint, because otherwise it ends up coming out dark and dirty, and that's what I'm looking at right now. And that's what you don't want. It looks dark and dirty, and I'm not saying it is. It better not be, but it looks dark and dirty. Now, by contrast, I don't know if it's the same photographer, but they got it right on this photo, which suggests to me what they did here on this photo, where there's a "don't be the something" on the wall. Anyway, I think it's the second bedroom. I can tell that they used some high dynamic range techniques in order to make this photo happen, because that's what's here. So it looks more evenly, properly lit, etc. But that's a little bit of HDR is what happened here. So this is clearly a composite shot, which is fine, but I can tell. And one thing to pay attention to is that when your photographer is going to do composite shots, it shows everything. For example, what I'm circling right now in the corner, because the vacuum marks were not done in a very clear way, I'm not saying anything, it's just distracting. I'm not saying it's not good, it's not bad. I'm not saying redo the shot. I'm just saying details matter with HDR on a whole new level that maybe they weren't prepared for. Maybe I don't know, and that's why I try to warn you guys to stay away from HDR, because it reveals so many imperfections that it just reveals a lot of imperfections. It's a part of the challenge. But I will say this of the photos that I've looked at so far, this one, what you currently have as number 3, that one should be your feature photo.
Okay.
I would not have those others. I would not have those others there. But let me quickly go through some other ones real fast. Yeah, because they're a lot of this one. Number 2 also suffers from the dark, and number 3 is different. Oh, cool. Good superimposition, but he didn't get rid of the reflection, which is really, I don't know. That's just strange. And on the television is what I'm referring to there. Why is the plant on the floor?
I have no idea. The designer did that.
Huh. Okay. I wouldn't leave the plant on the floor. And oh, that's neat. So that's the desk bookshelf. That's a neat way of making that happen. Did you just not have square footage anywhere else? Is that why it was done right there in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I like it. That's creative. Now, I have a question. Are you providing a laptop with their stay?
No.
Okay. I'm just
No.
saying, people make assumptions.
I'll add that on the captions, though. In the captions, I'll add
Yeah,
that.
totally
That's
understood.
not
Just
right.
people like to make assumptions, and if that's, and I'm suggesting you don't provide the speaker. Okay, even if you were planning on it.
That's not a speaker. That's actually a. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, that's an electrical outlet. Okay, I zoomed in. Never mind.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
that's
fine. All right, I thought it looked like a speaker at normal size. All right, cool. So that's good. Let's keep going. All right, so on your bathroom shots, you're gonna want to have the curtains open. And why are you using towels that are something other than solid white?
So the designer had brought those because of the theme, but I have my white towels that I would fit for the guests.
Okay. Oh, well, see, here it is again, HDR in effect. And you can, well, when you look at number 7, you'll see, you should be able to see a little bit of what I'm talking about in terms of the light and the wall and whatnot. And again, take the plant off the floor. Always open the curtains. And in fact, I don't know what's going on in this shot. All right, so there's a couple of things. One, obviously we want to get these curtains open right here. That we absolutely must have. But I don't know what's going on right here and why all of this has suddenly got a red orange tint. I'm assuming it's, I don't know what it is. Some light was on, something flashed, and like, why did he not color correct for that? I have no idea. But that doesn't even need to be in the photo. If you can, you know.
Which one are you talking about?
It's number 8. Number 8.
So like by the door?
Yeah. The curtain needs to be open. I don't know what's going on with that one at all. Okay, we've got your closet. Okay, one more. So here's the other thing that I'm always talking about is the light in the ceiling is a different color temp than the light right here. And you want these to match because it starts to, let me put it this way. Hollywood and movies uses this color temperature light when they're in scary movies and you start going down long dark hallways. Just know that. So you don't want that. You want this other over here, which is closer to daylight balance as much as you can. So, and if this light can't be changed to be daylight balance, I'd rather you turn it off. And same with the light in here. And then you've got, okay, I would have them redo this shot for sure because the composition, in my opinion, is way off. Like none of this is helping that shot on the side, and then you got the same thing over here. I think everything I just outlined would make a better shot than what they've got right there. Save the photos, and then interesting. Same thing from a composition standpoint on this photo, which is number 11. Get rid of everything over here. And then I would scoot this back because I want to see this from the headboard, that same angle. And that way I think would make, again, a better shot. And this time they got rid of the reflection in the mirror, which is great. He didn't do it once, but he did it on this time, or in the television anyway. And now the plant's not on the ground, which is great. I like that. Still wrinkled. Okay, so are you using pink sheets? Because that looks pink.
Yeah, so the designer wanted to use pink for the color, but I have white sheets for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So are you saying, well, here's the challenge. You will run into somebody who chooses this for the pink sheets. I wish I was making it up. I wish I was making it up because we have changed duvets before and we've gotten messages, hey, this is not the duvet that was in the photo. And I'm like, wow, got it. So just know that. So this is a potential reshoot because of that, in my opinion, because you're going to have that. Remember, this is a review-based business, and reviews are primarily, did you set the correct expectation on the way in? This is setting a certain expectation of what's going to be present. And that's something you just really want to think about. Okay. Get rid of this shot completely. The second bathroom is just all kinds of messed up. Yeah. You don't have the white towels. You got the thing closed. There's this weird reflection on the cabinet. It's blown out in the mirror. Did the same photographer take all of these?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yes, probably.
I find it so strange how they can be so hit and miss. Do they edit their own photos, or does someone else edit their photos?
I think he edited it.
Does he edit all of his photos, or did you pay for you only get 5 of them that are edited?
From what I understand, he does all.
Okay, well I would ask that question. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just leave it alone and I'm gonna ask that question. You're not using any amenities kits?
Yeah, I have to have those pictures taken.
Okay, so I'm looking at photo 13. That's when I said that. Why are the pillows on 14 on the floor in the closet?
I think the designer had put that there, but he forgot to remove them when the guy came for the picture.
Okay.
So.
Do you hear what do you hear what you keep saying every time I say why
Yes,
did such an
yes.
okay, got it. So do you see where the problem might be? Ooh.
Is it me?
It's ultimately you because it's your responsibility.
It
You're
is.
CEO.
It is.
However, it sounds like you're using, I don't know who the designer is, but is the designer overly experienced in walking photographers through what it is that we need?
No.
Okay. And that's where that's so understand.
Well, I mean, he's a real estate agent. He does staging and all.
Yeah,
that
I know
stuff.
he's a real estate.
So,
You just made my point. That's exactly my point. A real estate agent is not equipped naturally to be able to do or produce what it is that we need. We need to tell a story, right? And we need to tell consistency, and we need to set a proper expectation of what is it going to be like when I get to your place. And that's not to say a real estate agent can't become, and there aren't some out there. I'm saying we can't just go, oh, they're a real estate agent, so they clearly know. They don't, because they haven't been trained and they don't understand how important, these nitpicky, what sounds like me being nitpicky, they don't understand how important it is, and more importantly, how much revenue these photos would cost you because of misset expectations. That this is exactly the challenge. What you photograph is what they expect, and if you deviate from that, you start getting reviews that say place doesn't look like the photos. Now, they're not going to be any more descriptive than that, and the problem once that happens is the next person doesn't know what that means, so they interpret worst case scenario as in nothing looks like the photos. Like it's a complete opposite, and you don't want that. So these are the things that, this is why I'm so hard on the photos, because if we don't set it right here, everything else just goes straight downhill. And some of these composition choices, this now explains some of the composition choices, because remember, a real estate agent, they're tasked with selling the space, not what is it like to be in that space, not create an emotion of, oh wow, that looks like it would be fun. For example, this is another photo with a major composition issues right down here. Like, I don't even know what this down here is. Like, what is that? Why is it in the shot? Right? And
What page are you? Maybe I should open up the Facebook group and look at the video.
what's that?
'Cause should I open the Facebook?
No.
group and see the
I'm
video? 'Cause I can't
explaining it
see
to you, and I know you don't have the answer, but I'm explaining it because there's lots of people watching, and I'm circling it on my screen. And you have the benefit of having it now recorded specifically for you,
Right.
but at the same time, this will benefit other people and they'll be able to see as well. But these composition issues, this is a telltale sign that, yeah, they're a real estate photographer or something like that, because they're not used to telling the experience of what it's like to be. I don't think that's the dining room table. I'm thinking it's the bar. I'm not really sure, but it's strange. It's just flat strange. Like, I don't even understand it. And then you've got this. I mean, this is what I've circled on photo 16 is all of composition issues that should have been adjusted for before the image was created. And I mean, and what's worse is that it tells the story that you have one place setting. I'm assuming this space is for more than one person. So it's like, yeah, that's just not it. Okay, so now we back up and we kind of can understand it, but man, you should delete 16 immediately, like right now.
Okay.
That kind of immediately. Because, yeah. And for some reason, they like taking things at an angle. The way this floor plan is laid out and the way the windows are, this shot would have been 17 would have been better straight on for sure. Look, the 18, it's straight on. Yes, now straight on and back up with a little bit wider angle, because, okay, so here's a different issue that's going on, is that I can see, I'm assuming, is the island curved at all, or is it actually a rectangle?
No.
It's a rectangle?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So here's what's happening here. This is what's known as lens distortion. So I don't know what type of camera or lens they were using, but I can see the distortion, and it just creates a false impression of either the size or what actually is going on. Also, did they have a tripod? I'm beginning to think they didn't.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah? Well, they need to learn how to use it better. Because there again, we have, this isn't level, and the walls are not, yeah. Whew. Okay.
I should have prepped myself for this call. I didn't prep properly.
And she's like, I need my psychologist. Help me. Someone. Okay. Anyone who knows Neftali or is nearby, please take her to Starbucks. She needs a hug after. But just know you asked. And there are some times where these are surprisingly awesome. And then there are some times where I'm like, I just don't want you to lose money for stuff that can be fixed and adjusted for. Because you've sacrificed, you've done a lot of things to get this far. And this is a problem. See, here's another composition issue that does not belong in the shot whatsoever. And okay, so on photo 21, you have this painting on top of the dryer or washer.
I think they were trying to be artistic with it.
Yeah, no. That's just a no. Okay, got it. No problem. Let me keep going. Let me go faster so that I can end the paint. Oh, whoa. Why is your TV not on the wall?
Okay, here's what happened.
You see, what happened
Here's what happened.
It's always good when it starts with that.
FedEx did not deliver the 55-inch TV. So that morning, the day that the photographer came, because I had the person mount the day before, but I didn't have the TV, so I had to go to Walmart the next day. And they didn't even have the same brand that I had, so I just picked that up just as a last-minute thing.
Got it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I have recommended and stopped a long time ago of having my televisions ordered, and I started picking them up. And along with the
I did that last time. It was so tiring.
I know, but this is something I will still do because of exactly what you just said. And you're just talking about one unit, and what happens is if you're doing 5, 6, 7 units at a time, you could have 21 TVs and 3 of them not show, and it's just it's a problem. And that's why I don't do that anymore. That right there, 100%. Also, this would be better as a straight on shot for sure. But kudos to them for using some HDR to get a lot of the exterior, but we still have poor lighting here, down here, which is making your white look dirty is my concern. And why are we suddenly using green? Green, gold, and white. That's interesting. Okay. Was that like school colors or something?
No, he just wanted to pop a color.
Got it. Okay.
This kind of hurts. We keep going.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, I will. I'm doing it. I'm wondering, do I need to stop? Right? Okay. I love you though. Please feel me. Please feel me. I just want you to have the same experience that others have had. And it has a lot to do. We can't skip. What is this purple thing on the table? We can't.
That's something.
Okay. All right. Have you okay. Have you talked to LaTanya? Did LaTanya talk to this person before they did any of this design stuff?
No.
Okay. You do know that phone call to LaTanya was free, right? And now.
Yeah, no, I've talked to her before, and I was gonna have her do this one, but I just had like a time constraint. And
okay.
So
I want you to repeat this with me. I am not rich enough. Say it.
I am not rich enough.
I am not rich enough to afford cheap things.
To afford cheap things.
Okay? And there's only 2 ways to do something. You're only going to do it right or again. Which do you think we're headed towards right now?
Again.
Exactly. This is the place where we can't cut the corners because we are building an asset that we want to put into service and let it work for a long time. And it's worth taking the extra time to get this right, as you're hearing in my voice. And I'm sure there's probably a ton of people in the chat.
Can I be honest for a second?
What's that?
Can I be honest for a second?
Always.
Well, okay, and the other reason why I chose him is one, because like he has a lot of connections, and he's working on getting another building that he can get me a unit in, and I wanted to build that relationship. But also too, he gave me like a quote unquote very deep discount on his design, and so it was very attractive. And because I'm doing like 30-day, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm doing 30-day bookings, it makes me want to like cut costs. Cut costs in some areas. So that was a big thing for me.
Correct.
To try to cut costs and, hopefully build like a good relationship with him, because, he has short-term rentals, and then he also has owners that he knows, and he's also looking at buying, buildings. So I just thought that going with him would be, at least for this one, to see how things go, would be, maybe beneficial, maybe helpful.
Hey, I'm not saying it's not, but what I am saying now, based upon that information, is understand that that means in my opinion, what you've elected to do is spend extra money in order to build that relationship with him, when I believe what might have been even more beneficial for you and for him is for you to have connected him with LaTanya, and LaTanya could have easily corrected a lot of these things before they got there. He could have still done it. He could have still had the job, but she would have been able to either Skype in, video, FaceTime, something. Because I don't think she's watching this right now, but I promise you, if she saw what I'm seeing right now, she'd probably be on a plane to you trying to fix it. And I'm not the design person. That's what I'm really trying. I mean, like, woo, you know? I mean, she's probably seeing things that I'm missing. And I know, okay, you don't need this photo. Number 25, get rid of that 100%. What is this? Is this the community area?
Yeah.
Okay, I would strongly encourage you to not use this one, or if you are going to use this one, do you have the, because there's no way. Did your photographer take this photo?
Yeah.
See, this is what I don't understand. How can they get this photo right? Well, it's still not lit right.
Which photo?
How can they get number 26? I don't understand how they can their work is so inconsistent. It is strange. Like, how, I don't understand. Okay. If you are going to use these, a couple of things. Try to use a more generic image on I would superimpose a different, more generic image on the television, just in case you don't run into any sort of issues with some sort of programming or whatever it might have been on TV. I'm not quite sure if you can make out those likenesses. And then I would strongly make sure that people understand that this is the community area. It's not something that they have that's their private space.
I was going to add that to the caption.
Because they will, that will become a challenge. And they still have some of the same composition issues going on. Yeah, more composition issues. Oh, that's a neat little room. I like that. Okay, Jim, cool. See, this is what I don't understand. How can they get number 34's got to go. There's a better way to do the pool without revealing your location like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're right.
35 is fine.
Because the other picture of the pool had the actual building name, so I had that option.
Yeah, both are bad then. Okay, I'm pretty much done with the photos. I'm gonna look really quick at some of your text and copy. Fast Wi-Fi.
I have a question actually.
Yeah, go for it. And then I've got to drive. I'm sure people have seen enough of this, so I've got to get to the other questions. But go ahead.
I know. I'm sorry. No. So I actually created an account for the business, but I've been debating if I should make it like as a personal.
I don't have a problem with that. I slant more towards the accounts for the business anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Some people care a lot more. I prefer to try to remove as much bias as I possibly can, if you understand my meaning.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. I like that you're disclosing something negative, that the apartment is located on the 3rd floor. However, I would probably find a different way to word that, meaning I'm assuming there's an elevator.
Yes, there is.
So something to the effect of, under the space, you'll have convenient access to the elevator that goes all the way to the 3rd floor where the apartment is located. Now, that might not be correct grammar. Please don't go there, but you get what I'm saying. I'm emphasizing that convenient access to the elevator, and also saying that it's on the 3rd floor. I'm doing both of those things at the same time. So I would definitely look at that. And this list stuff that you have going on here, not bad. However, it's just visually boring. And maybe there's a better way to break it up or put it somewhere. I would stay away from words like fully equipped, because my definition, even better, Robert's definition of fully equipped is completely different than mine. Because the boy knows how to cook. He loves cooking. He knows, and I am not. I mean, you got a microwave, and I got DoorDash. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So 2 completely different understandings of words like fully equipped. So be looking for ambiguous words like that. I like that you're putting in the distances to places. So that's also good. Any particular reason you chose queen beds as opposed to kings?
The rooms are not that big.
And you're not using a sleeper sofa for some reason? Because you have this listed for 4 guests. Not.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. You're right. You're right. I'm not.
Whose idea was that? Don't say the designer.
No, it wasn't. It was my fault for not bringing it up.
Okay, got it. All right.
So it was really like a week, and so I didn't see the place until.
I understand. Okay. I think you have had enough. I think people have learned. They were like, oh my God. And know this, there's a lot of people who right now are going, I am so glad I am not her. So thank you for being the sacrificial lamb today, for lack of a better word.
Thank you.
And hopefully we didn't scare off anybody else from calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so man, anyway, if you got a question, 417-352-2274. I don't know. I just try to give it to you straight. My goal is to help. And when I see stuff, I'm going to say stuff because you come to us for a certain you want a certain response or level from your business, and I want to make sure that you get it. And there's just very specific formulaic things that you can repeat that are systematic that most hobbyists aren't doing, right? And some of you think it is, well, I can just do the photos and that'll be great, but it's what's under the photos and how certain things got there. And anyway, it's an entire recipe, is more than just the ingredients. And Neftali, she's, you heard, it's not her first rodeo. She knows she made a conscious choice, and then she made a second one by asking me to assist her. So I don't think I would have done anybody any favors by just making her necessarily feel good. Although if one of you out there in Virginia want to take her for a coffee, I completely get it, and please do so. Because I did kind of go to town a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that everything is done right. All right, so let me get some of the questions for the Facebook group and do something completely different before it gets worse. Okay, oh my goodness. Could you close? Oh, got it. So you don't want to, okay, so no problem, Bradley. I can do that on the next one. That way you guys can see more of it. No problem. Hey, Marvin, how are you doing? Love it. Convenient access to the elevator that takes you to the third floor. Yes, that's a great way of saying that. English and history, and definitely grammar, by far my worst subjects on the planet. Let's see. I appreciate the feedback. No problem. You know what? You let me put that on the screen so that everybody sees. See, she says she appreciates it. Don't be hating on me. I'm just trying to help her out. All right. Let me go to students and get some of your. Am I on the right channel? Okay, there it is. Okay. Man, that was pretty rough. Pretty rough. Van is asking a question. He says, what are my thoughts on the Airbnb custom URL link per listing? It's a Band-Aid, I guess is the best way of saying it, because ultimately you want to have control. You want your customers, if you're going to take the time to send out a listing or promote somebody's anything, I would want to build that traffic for my own domain, not over to Airbnb's. That's the short answer at the end of the day. That's what I would rather you do, because long term, that's going to benefit you the most, as opposed to you generating the traffic, sending them to your custom link, and then paying Airbnb the fee for what exactly, Yeah, no, that's my ultimate thought. Now, not seeing any more questions in the Facebook group doesn't mean they're not there, just means I don't see them at the moment. If anybody's calling in, now would be the time, 417-352-2274. And let me explain what I meant by saying, how does my wife's birthday help you? Ultimately, what it comes down to is, as an entrepreneur in general, we are, I would say in general, not all, slanted towards the positive. We are positive people going in the good direction, can only see things working out, only see things working well. That's just how we're built. And that's a good thing. And that's not to say that my wife isn't, but it is to say that having someone else's perspective whom you trust consistently to be there and make sure that they're on the same team because their boat's tied to yours, so to speak, makes a huge difference. Also, I also know that there's a number of you out there who maybe your spouse is not yet on board. And I understand that. And what it takes, though, is what I like to call shut up checks. It's a check that you have, which then once generated, it quiets that voice in the back of your head. It quiets your friends from becoming those, so how's that thing going yet? And sometimes it quiets the spouse wondering. And because typically what I have found across all of the students that I've worked with and entrepreneurs across the globe, what your spouse is usually concerned about is, will we be okay? Will we be safe? Is this going to hurt us at the beginning? And they're coming from a completely different space. And Poppy and I, we went through those phases of those things. But there's a lot that you guys just wouldn't know. For example, this whole business wouldn't exist if not for her advice. I just want to make sure that that's really clear. So making sure you have someone like that is important. And a lot of the things that we've been able to do to help people exist because of her. And that's really important. You may not see her. That doesn't mean she's not around, not doing something in some way, shape, or form. But when it comes to understanding cleaning and design and colors and all of those things, these are all small things that I've had to learn. The kitchen, 100%. And it is still a team effort. As you guys know, we have 4 children, and that does not happen on its own. And yet, she still makes time to help a number of you with utilities and all of these things. I say all this to say that, and forgive me, I recently saw Hamilton, so it's really on my mind. In the same way that George Washington needed a right-hand man, you in your business need that same thing. And for many of us, it's our spouse, so remember to hug him or her today. And make sure that if nothing else, that they know the contribution that they're making, even if that contribution isn't necessarily as public as they might think or you might think it needs to be, because it matters. And again, I'm telling you unequivocally, we would not be here. This would not be what it is. She found this studio. I mean, there's so many things like that you just miss. And I say all this to say, go find that right-hand person for you, because your business needs it, and it will continually help you. Because as an entrepreneur, again, we have so many blind spots. Somebody's got to watch out for them, and obviously she watches out for mine. But now that you've seen the example, you go find one for yourself too. Hopefully that makes some sense. With that being said, it's a surprise caller. I don't know if I like this. Okay, well, we have another caller, so let's see who it is. And it says it's a surprise caller, so that's going to be a problem. Hi, surprise caller. Who is this?
It's Jasmine again.
Oh, okay, got it. It's one of my daughters. Awesome. How are you?
Jordan's here too.
What's that?
Jordan's here too.
Oh, Jordan's there too. Okay, got it. So do you have a question this time?
Yes. And did you mention it's Mom's birthday?
I did mention it is Mom's birthday. I absolutely mentioned it. Thank you for making sure. What's your question?
Can I have some units?
Can you what?
I want to run units.
You want a unit. Got it. Awesome. We will talk about how that needs to work too. What's that?
Jordan wants a unit too.
I bet she does. No problem. Wouldn't that be something if I taught you guys how to run a unit yourself? That would be cool.
Please.
Let me think, because that would just be absolutely funny, because then nobody has an excuse. Run a unit just like my 11 and 10-year-old do. I like it. Let me think about that one, darling. I got another caller, though, I think. So I got to go.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Let me see. I see someone else is in. It looks like someone else is in there. Oh, I'm just waiting for some notes. Okay. Then let me see what else we got. What is the best way? We got that. We got that. I'm just looking for more comments. I think I got all those. Okay. And what do we have here? So Ladero is referring to the fact that he's asked for feedback before as well. And he's just letting people know that we've all been there, completely ripped to shreds. I have a wall that Jay called baby diarrhea brown. I do. Yes, I did that. I did. But hey, if it makes money, it's fine. I mean, I've got that one wall that's like mustard yellow, and I would have never guessed. Anyway. Whoo. Yeah. Never guessed that. Awesome. Megan, thank you. Let's see. Sending digital hugs. That's funny. Woo. Okay, so Ladero wants me to teach the kids to run a unit. That would be funny. Interesting. That's a curious one right there. I think this isn't. I like the idea because it's highly marketable. Woo, that would be interesting. All right. Let me see. Are we done for the day? I think so. I'm just not seeing questions. So if you have a question, I'm checking one more space just in case. Oh, I've apparently missed a few questions. Hold on one second. I just now found them. So Russell is asking, he says, what calendar rules are setting for the holidays? No check-in, no check-out on the actual holiday, or how many days before or after are you starting the rule? Anything different for New Year's Eve and day? Yes, great question. Okay, so let's talk about that real fast, and we'll get it done. So Russell, when it comes to these holidays and etc., like we're talking about right now, first of all, it has a lot to do with what staff you have available. So check with your staff. Are they okay with, do they aka even celebrate the same holidays that we're talking about at this moment? So if they don't celebrate Thanksgiving and they're okay with working on Thanksgiving, then it's not necessarily a bad thing for you to not allow departures. So typically we don't mind arrivals on the holiday. It's departures that will prevent. So we'll block people from departing on a Thanksgiving or on a Christmas or on New Year's Day. We want to block people from departing that day because typically our staff does not. And in some cases, maybe they have light staff. So what we'll do is we'll still block them, but that doesn't mean we won't accept some. So that maybe instead of potentially having the entire portfolio turn on a holiday day, when they have light staff, we'll just make sure that only some units can actually be that way. So that's part of the conversation that you need to have with your staff, like now. So that's regardless of what type of holiday, even Halloween to that for some. I mean, because yeah, like if I was doing this in New Orleans around Halloween, it'd be a whole kind of interesting thing. See, now how many days before or after depends on the holiday. Usually it's at least a minimum of 2, and sometimes it can be 3 or 4. Again, depends on the holiday and or the event. So for us, a Christmas and a New Year's is usually going to be a 3-day. So where we're running a 3-day minimum, and it's on the day before, the day of, and the day after. and depending on your demographic, and some of you could actually get away with a 7 day minimum, and depending again on your demographic, some of you may be able to actually do a 14 day minimum especially on a Christmas and or a New Year's. So it just depends. You got to know your customer, but some of you definitely should consider 7, depending on where you are, type of housing, etc., who it is that you're serving. Let me see what else does this say. Whoops. I am looking for the other comments. Just give me 1 second, guys. I just now saw them. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Wow. Lots of happy birthdays. And Ladero, do we have time to talk about cleaning company versus having in-house cleaners? We are thinking of transitioning to pay per hour, imposing a cleaning time max. We know very closely how much time is needed to thoroughly clean each type of unit. In running numbers, this would significantly cut our cleaning costs more than half. Got it. Okay, so yeah, sure. So this question comes up from time to time, and that tells me that you're getting to a certain number of units as well. Because when you start going, all right, instead of paying this cleaning company, it's time to bring it in-house, there's a number of things to consider. Chief among them is the cost of employment law, period. Because depending on the state you're in, there is a thin line, usually a very thin line, between employee and contractor, right? And being able to ensure that you can classify your persons as a contractor is going to be paramount from a cost structure perspective. So that's part of what you've been outsourcing. That's one of the things I want you to see, is that you've been, while yes, it would lower your cleaning costs, part of your cleaning costs actually have nothing to do with cleaning and everything to do with the organizational structure. You're helping compensate the entrepreneur who's standing in the gap that and paying the price, literally, for that organizational structure. Because most of the time, the cleaners are likely to be classified as employees. Now, before you throw your hands up in the air and say, but no, I pay mine as a vendor, great, awesome. It never matters until there's a injury on the job, workman's comp claim, something in that nature, right? That's usually when it matters. Or they get mad at you and you fire them, and then suddenly they just talk to somebody and someone says, that sounds like, they just talked to somebody. They could even be talking to a friend, and suddenly the claim gets filed. That's when it matters most of the time. And you feel like, hey, you're getting away with something. And then once that claim starts and you start going down the EDD department, and it becomes a thing. So be really, really, really clear that they can be contractors. If you can keep them as contractors, then there's probably a cost savings that your business can realize, provided, because here's the second thing that entrepreneurs are standing in the gap doing. They're standing in the gap literally scheduling people. Because as it currently stands, if/when they miss a cleaning, or cleaning doesn't go like you want, etc., you don't care who they send. They just have to send someone, right? So what does that mean? They typically that means that they have a number of different individuals on staff or who they have access to, right? So that if someone has, they got to watch their kid, or they get sick, or they're out of town, or they want to take a vacation, or whatever, or they already had 3 jobs that day and they just can't do another one. Whatever's going on, they've been able to put themselves in a position to absolutely assist you. So with that being said, when you think about those two things, if you can have them be a contractor, and maybe you have someone internally who's now going to be in charge of the scheduling of who goes where and when, and making sure all of that is done and still running QA. Then yeah, you probably have a way to make it work. I would be hard pressed to believe that you're at a size at this moment where, if they're employees, or you don't do that, either you're going to suffer in the quality of life, or it's going to cost you close to the same, in order to just execute it. But run the numbers, and if the numbers support it, then know that you're going to need at least one. You're going to need a scheduling software in some way, shape, or form, or some sort of scheduling tool. And then you're going to need an additional Trello board to put together your processes for them about how you want things done, etc. And then if you can make it past all of those hurdles, then it's sourcing talent, because hospitality in general is one of the industries with the highest turnover rates, at least in the United States, possibly world, but I know in the United States for sure. So you're going to need a consistent pipeline of individuals to hire and train, which means you need two systems, one for hiring so that you don't have to do it, and then one for training so that you don't have to do it. So you're adding 4 systems to replace the individual, and after you've built those systems, tested and trained those systems, you can hire them as a vendor, and you've got someone to oversee the department. If after doing all of that you still realize a cost savings, then great. And that's also assuming you don't add more units. There does come a point where you have enough bedrooms, you have enough revenue, you have enough all of the everythings to actually make that a very viable thing. I'm aware I could probably lower my own cleaning bill $4,000 a month or so. Yeah, I could probably lower my own cleaning bill by about $4,000 a month total. I wouldn't charge the customer any less, but we would keep $4,000 or so a month more. But I still don't do it for the reasons that I've just stated, because the cost of building those 4 systems, finding a person, and hiring and training are the things I just consider it, that's what I'm paying them to do. I'm literally paying you, and I'm outsourcing those things. But if you're at a large enough size, knock yourself out. Or if you intentionally plan on staying small, that could also work. But that's just, yeah, that's how I see it. So hopefully that helps, Ladero. All right. Refresh one more time and look for a phone call. Oh, we have a phone call. Let's see. Let's go here. Marvin, how are you?
Pretty good, my friend. How are you?
So far, so good. It says are you in Jamaica, or you have units in Jamaica?
I am in Jamaica, and the units are in Jamaica.
Oh my! Wow. I think have you called? Have you called before?
No, I came across you on YouTube, and I've been binge watching your videos and stuff. So I saw that you were live. I said, let me see if I can get any valuable nuggets.
Got it.
While you're on, if it's allowed or not, I don't know.
Got it. What time is it in Jamaica right now?
Right now it is 7:27.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're +2. Got it. Okay. Cool. How can I help?
Even though my laptop is on Eastern Standard Time, but.
Got it.
So all right. So I'm gonna kill the YouTube feed here because it's.
Yeah, you're probably getting double or something.
I have 2 earlobes, but
yeah, I can only imagine that would be weird.
Not good for listening to 2 different things, especially when I'm trying to concentrate on something. All right. Okay, good deal. So I have do you have my listing up?
No, we typically only do listing reviews for existing students. But if you have a specific question, gotcha. I probably can address it, because I don't have a way of getting the actual what I need.
Are you familiar with the market?
With Jamaica?
I'm speaking of. Yeah.
I no, sir. I have not even considered going to Jamaica at all for this.
I have 2 units in Kingston that are rentals.
Oh, okay.
So I actually do the rent out of my pocket and everything.
That's awesome.
And then I had the people that own the units that it's 3. I live in one and I do the Airbnb with 2.
Okay.
And then I have the owners of the units that I do the Airbnb business. They saw the success I was having with that.
Okay.
And they have a unit at a 5-star resort in Montego Bay.
Oh, okay.
So they gave that to me. Just doing.
What do you mean by gave? Define
profit sharing.
gave.
Say it again.
You said they gave it to you. When I hear give, that means.
No. As far as not a rental, it's a profit sharing. So
okay,
whatever
continue.
the cost is, the cost comes off the top, and then we split it. We have a mutually agreed upon.
Okay,
structure.
got it.
That right. So that has been blowing my mind because I was doing decent with the Kingston properties. They were taking care of their the overhead and putting a little bit extra on it. But the Montego Bay and the 5-star resort has been blowing my mind because it's like running away with everything there. It's like outperforming everything, and that's not even one that I control 100% like that. So I was just wondering. I pay a lot of attention to it to try to see if there's something that I'm doing wrong in Kingston as opposed. I think it's just location for the most part. But I understand I'm not a student, so you're not going to be able to analyze it to give me any feedback on that.
Well, let me explain why that is. Because one of the things
I understand.
Well, no. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that the way that we go about attacking how we construct a unit, it starts with what I call, whom do you want to serve, and understanding that piece. Like we have one of our trainings inside of our mastermind product is literally an hour and a half of just that with like about 30 questions. And then we even have a 6-hour training where we go over it live because that is the foundation of the analysis in order to figure out, oh, here's the problem. The problem is that you actually are priced too high for this particular demographic, not necessarily your location. Or sometimes the problem has been just the words you've chosen because you're communicating to a different person in the way that you've chosen. And it's not that, again, because I want to. I'm excited right now. I'm like, oh, cool, Jamaica. That sounds cool. I've got friends that are from there. They tell me about the 2 places, Kingston and Montego Bay. They say it all the time. I have never been. Not the point. The point is I want to help, but I would be ineffectual if the unit is not built on the same system. Because it's, for lack of a better way of putting it, I know how to fix Audis and Lamborghinis, and if you built a Maserati, I don't know about
You'd be
Maserati.
lost.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Totally understand. Totally understand.
But I will say this: if you are running the same settings, and are you using a dynamic pricing tool?
Of course. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And not only the dynamic pricing tool, as I told you, I spent a lot of time on it. So I've even been playing around with the additional fees.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, got it.
Right.
So yeah, there are so many levers and switches to pull.
Exactly.
That it's like, there are just so many things that it could be, and that's where trying to start from the same level playing ground, so to speak, makes it easier for me to diagnose, which is why that's why. And again, I just don't want you to think it's not because I don't want to. It's just like
no, I understand the premise. Believe me.
Okay, got it.
So no issues there.
Okay.
But just to add, I know you can't evaluate too much, but just to add, I geared towards I get the one-nighters. I don't block them. If they come, I'll take it because whatever. But I'm targeted towards the long-term, like, a week, 2 weeks, a month. I had a guest stayed for a month, came from India recently. So the way that I have tweaked the levers has been panning out. I had a check-in today a week. I had a check-in in the other unit.
That's
Been there
awesome.
since Thursday, 1 week. They check out on Thursday. So that's what the pricing structure with all the levers that I have to play with is based on being attractive to that type of clientele, the week or more.
Understood.
clientele.
I'll tell you what, there is a training that we have that is publicly available, if I remember correctly. Send an email to info@cashflowdiary.com and ask
right.
Della, she's the one who probably received that. We did a training where I talked about the metrics and levers to pull. It was the training where I went over there's a growth potential formula that I got from digitalmarketer.com, Ryan Dice. Anyway, it's and it was it has letters in it, L times C times M times F equals growth potential. She'll know what that training is or the link to that training. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. That will help with some of the diagnosis and stuff. And when it comes to building some of the again, build, like I said, if you want to build an Audi or a Lamborghini, etc., if you want to understand our system, you can go over to cashflowdiary.com/star, and we go over that, and so that people can begin to have an understanding of our methodology, our philosophy, and most importantly, because when you end up in this situation, it makes it easier for me to understand your metrics, what they mean, and help in some way, shape, or form.
Right. But having not went over it previously and mentioned it to you just now, and then you're telling me to go to it, it seems like I'm on the right track.
Correct.
Thank
There
you.
are things that you're probably doing that are intuitively correct, and we'd be able to add, for lack of a better way of putting it, fuel to that fire to increase revenue. Even if we increased revenue, I don't know, $5 a day on your ADR, that would be helpful, because in my opinion, every dollar matters. But
of course.
So that's really
and
what's
I'm running.
going to
I run a pretty tight ship. The resort I don't have to worry about because the guests actually pay for the housekeeping on arrival, so I don't have to worry about a thing about housekeeping at the resort.
That resort play, if you can get more of those, you'll probably you probably really define your family tree if you can get more of those.
Well, it's an anomaly the way it is here. It actually is a defunct operation, and they ended up selling a building as individual units. That's how the people that I entered into that agreement with got it. That's the only one that they have at that location, and most of the people that own in the building do the Airbnb, do extremely well. And the homeowner association down here, they call it a strata, but it's equivalent to a homeowners association. They're trying to outlaw the owners from utilizing the units for renting to short-term rental, or any kind of rental they're trying to outlaw, whether it's long-term or short-term.
That's interesting. Yeah. See, I love this story.
But, my understanding is that it's been going on for a few years and no end in sight. So initially when I got it, it was tentative until the end of the year. I just had a meeting with them last week, Friday, and we're going to continue on into 2020. So
I appreciate you taking it on, man, going out there and making it happen, because it's entrepreneurs like yourself that are going to make that change. And as long as you keep operating and just help them to see that there is a way to operate properly,
absolutely,
that's really what they need to see. They need to see more of that. That's why we took the time to build the content, why we've built the community. It's why we do what we do, is because we want more operators out there who know exactly what to do, how to operate, so that people can see it. So good job, though. Good job.
And I have even done a little diversification as far as I have property coming on board. I'm not going to be the host on it. I'm going to be the co-host. I had my reasons for doing that. What I'm offering is at a particular geared towards a particular demographic, and the property that someone tried to get me to manage for them doesn't quite fit the mold. and I don't want to risk like bad reviews and all that stuff. So I opted to go ahead and have them host, and I'll be in the background as a co-host doing pulling the levers and all that stuff, and have it just take a small percentage from just doing that function. So
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you strongly, and I'm going to just encourage you to know that once you understand who it is that you want to serve, it's usually best to stick as close to that as humanly possible, and build the brand around that. But I understand. I understand where you're coming
from. And that's exactly what I was just trying to. So you understand where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm. 100%. That is
because it was offered to me to run it exclusively, but
yes, I got it 100%, sir. I appreciate that though. Thanks for reaching out and calling in.
I appreciate you.
So cool. I will talk to you soon, Marvin.
Thank you so much for the time, and I will keep binging on all your material.
Well, we'll do our best to keep putting content up there worth watching, sir. Thank you. Thanks for dialing.
That attention is to Stella, correct? At info@cashflowdiary.com.
Della, Della. It's info@cashflowdiary.com.
Della, not Stella. Della.
Yeah, Della.
Alrighty.
Della.
Alrighty, I got it.
Cool. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, my friend.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was easily our first caller from Jamaica. That was pretty cool. Because I've said it before, I say it again, this business model is applicable literally everywhere. We at Cashflow Diary, we have students in, I believe it's 16 countries. We got every continent except Antarctica. So if you know someone, that we should have like a prize for the first person to do something in Antarctica. That would be awesome. Anyway, so we've helped people even in countries where I don't speak the language. And again, with I guess Jamaica, you could say that's one of them. They speak patois, I believe is what it's called. And I don't speak that, but also European countries as well, where at the end of the day, humans are human. And we all want very similar things from the places that we hang out and stay and visit, etc. So long as you remember that, there's a system that we can help you build around it, and that's pretty much what we do. And if you've heard something today that you're like, cool, I need to know more about that system, just go to cashflowdiary.com/STAR and get started. cashflowdiary.com/STAR. For those of you who are students, hopefully this has been helpful for you. Again, everyone give Neftali a big hug, and she fell on the sword for everybody today. But ultimately, I just want to remind you, again, most of you probably haven't read my book. There's a concept in there that I call carefrontation. It's not a confrontation, it's a carefrontation. I'll get in your face. I will tell you exactly what I think. And it's only because I want your business to do better. Because I know if your business does better, you will have a completely different experience while you are here on this planet. And hopefully we'll go do something else, something different, something better than what you have already done so far. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely appreciate your attention today. Thank you for those of you who dialed in. And those of you who just watched and thought about dialing in, next time, dial in. Anyway, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.